Good morning everyone and welcome to a new video. So today we're back on the project after our family, Martin's family visiting. The yurt is sadly still not here, so we're not gonna be setting it up. So we're doing other prep stuff for winter. As you saw a while back, we chopped some trees down. And now today we've been splitting the wood. Well, Martin mostly has, and we're gonna build a circle with the split wood and then pile all the other wood inside, and that's a method to keep it dry. So that's the project for this morning. Puck is already down for a nap, and our new puppy Louie is just chilling here, which is great. So yeah, I'll show you how it goes, what we're doing, and I'll see you later. Bye! Hello everyone and welcome to this part of the video. So I just showed you that at the beginning of the week we started the firewood for this winter. We do have winter here in Portugal, even though it's October and still 30 degrees. January and February can be chilly, especially at night. So we started the pile, and it's been getting quite tall, quite high. And we have a couple pieces left to put on it, and then we'll put a tarp over it when it's finished, so it can dry out a little bit before we start using it. So that's been really satisfying, and yeah, there's a couple things this week. On Tuesday we went to a little baby group for Puck with some of other immigrant families in the area here. Puck was on my lap the whole time actually, but all the other parents were really nice, and so we had a good time. And hopefully next time she'll kind of warm up to them a little bit quicker. But it's all a phase. So that was really nice, but then the day after I was actually quite sick, and I'm still a little bit so if I'm a bit slow, I'm sorry about that. So other things this week, actually last week when we got the puppy we also got some avocado trees, which is amazing. I'm so happy to live in a climate where we can grow our own avocados. So in a couple of years we'll have our own avocados for part of the year. The garden in general is doing really good. Before Martin's parents came over, we actually opened up the other half of the garden. I don't know if I showed you then, and we put in some more cabbages and some radishes and stuff, and that's all doing really well. But our water, the last bit of water that we pumped out of the well, is actually almost gone, so next week we'll have to pump some water out of the neighbor's well. He actually said that was okay. So that's going to be a whole ordeal that we'll have to deal with next week. So I didn't film much this week, so I decided to kind of talk about some things. What I wanted to talk about this week is what have we done the last year, because we've actually been in Portugal for a whole year now. And how we kind of decided to do this process of moving to another country and starting a new life here. So if you want to know about that, keep on watching, and otherwise I'll see you next week. A whole year now, and we've been homeless for more than a year. We moved out of our apartment on August 1st. So that's actually more than a year now, and then we traveled for a while in our camper van through Germany and France and Spain. We went straight through because we thought it was terrible there, and then we traveled a bit in Portugal. So before we moved to Portugal, we didn't really have a clear idea of where we wanted to go. But we did know that we kind of wanted to look at places in the north and in central Portugal and just forget the whole southern area because it's gonna only be drier than here. And there's just a whole different atmosphere there. Before we left, I actually made an account on a website called Workway. And we made some contacts within the central Portugal region. And so when we came to Portugal, when we arrived, the first thing that we did is we stayed with a British family in the Argyle area for 3 weeks. And then through Workway, I don't know if you know, you work for food and for a place to park your van or a place to stay. So then halfway through October it was getting colder at night, and we arranged to do a house sit for the winter in the Viseu area, which is also in central Portugal. And so we stayed in an actual proper house with a wood stove and everything, which was really great because at night when it gets cold it's good to not be in the van because it's not insulated at all. And at the time Puck was really little as well, and so she was crawling, and it was a good place for her to crawl around and not be outside all day. And then halfway through March we started traveling again. We actually went to the coast for a little bit, and then to the area where we are now, which is almost at the Spanish border in Castelo Branco. And we stayed with a Dutch couple for almost 6 weeks, I think. And we through Workaway again, so we worked for them in exchange for a place to park and for food. And so combined with the fact that the cheapest land that we could find was actually here, and that we don't want to live in the mountains, and that this place just felt right to us, we decided to buy property here. We bought land here, and we've been here for 4 months now. So if you want to do the same, and if you also want to move to Portugal or another country and you want to start a life on the countryside, one thing I would suggest is also buy a camper van or a van that you can live in, because it really gave us the freedom to go where we wanted. The most important thing that I learned this year is take your time. For us it was really good to stay in different places for a couple weeks, a couple months, kind of see if we like the city that was close, kind of get to know some of the people in the area, and that made it easy for us to make a decision of where to actually buy land, because, well, not everyone, but we bought this land with the plans of never leaving, hopefully. So that's a pretty big commitment, and it takes time to know what you want and look at different properties. So that's my advice to you: take your time, buy a van, move around, see what you like. I know it's not easy. That's how we did it. If you have a bigger budget, maybe you can rent an apartment somewhere, see how you like that. You have a smaller budget, maybe only travel around for a couple weeks. But because it's such a big commitment, I would really recommend knowing what you're getting yourself into. So that's my little talk for this week. I hope you learned something. If you don't know, I post a new video every Friday. I'm really trying to stay committed and build this platform. Next week I hope to show you some more of the projects that we're doing. Now, thank you for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye!